Ball magazine, and I have here with me Tuhin Mehta. Tuhin, so you started DJing at the age of 12,
Right.
which is like 20 years ago. Which is
21, yeah.
yeah. So that was a time when EDM wasn't even that in.
Right.
So I want to know what inspired you to take it up in the first place.
Actually, DJing for me was came by an accident. My dad used to entertain a lot of people at home, and he had a big vinyl collection. So I ended up being the guy changing tracks for people. And ever since I can remember my memories of childhood, I was always surrounded by music. So pretty much my life revolved around music, even without me knowing that it revolved around music. And when I started to do these parties for my dad where I was just changing records and all of that, and then basically I saw people react to it, like even if they had the shittiest day on the planet, when they heard a record that they liked, everything was forgotten. So that whole experience got me hooked. And I was like, it's pretty cool, you know, bonding over music, like people who don't know each other still bond over a track. You know, just to give you an example, I was at Ultra in March in Miami. When I was there, I was dancing in the underground tent. Carl Cox was playing. There was like a group of Colombians, there was Korean. So people from all nationalities next to me, none of them spoke English except me. So they didn't understand me, I didn't understand them. But we had for 10 hours we were just dancing. And you know, we became friends even though we didn't speak the same language, because we were all vibing on the fact that it was the same music that all of us were listening to or that we were dancing to. You know, so music kind of brings people together whether they like it or not, regardless of the language that they speak. So that's how I kind of got into DJing, you know, and I started early. I was lucky.
So, since you started like 21 years ago, when this was a very unconventional approach to take,
Right.
and you come from a very conventional judo family.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah. So, how did they react to your decision?
Well, my mom was always supportive. She was always supportive of my creative streak, but then my dad always passed it off as, yeah, it's a hobby, it's a phase, you know, he'll get out of it. But, you know, I never did. It just got bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's something that you can't ignore, you know. How do you, like, there is no, I haven't met a single person that says, oh, I don't listen to music. You know, I mean, it's ridiculous. How do you not listen to music, you know? So it's something that you can't take away from my life. I've been doing this 21 years, so it's very much part of my life now, and more than half my life. And there's nothing that I know better than I know music. You know, and taking the unconventional approach, well, I was always looking for that one thing that people didn't know. You know, and that's the whole sense of discovery, and that's what music is about. You know, going from one, like the first brushes that I had with electronic music was a record by Ananda Shankar, you know, and he's related to Ravi Shankar.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, back then, I was like, what, 11 or 10 or something like that, and I was hearing these sounds that I've never heard in my life, you know, the fusion of Indian instruments with like electronics, it just blew my mind. So that just set me off on a path of discovery. And today we're here, you know, so can't complain.
So, back when you started out, since EDM wasn't that in,
Yeah.
and now it is, what kind of a shift have you experienced in your personal career path?
I mean, I would
from
say
there?
that over the last 12, 13 years, it's kind of, life has taken a complete circle and it's come back. Like back, you know, in the early 2000s, it was all about dark sounds and very primal sounds, and right now it's come back. The soundscapes are pretty much the same, but the genres have shifted slightly. But in the overall picture, it's come back. You know, so every 10 years or 12 years, you see the circle of life coming back in the music, and that's pretty much where we are today. Today I'm doing a vinyl set, which means it's my vinyl that I've collected from 1999 to 2007. So anybody who's walking in today is going to get an experience of what I used to do or where I came from, you know, and it's nice. It's nice to be able to say that, you know,
I guess
with
we're
the
gonna
sounds, and you know, you're listening to artists who are making a different kind of sound, and today who are making a totally different kind of sound. You know, I have stuff from Steve Angelo. Like today, Steve Angelo
Yeah,
is
that's
Steve Angelo house. Back then, he was making mind-bending stuff.
Yeah?
Yeah, like
oh my,
the
this
total,
is going to be an edited
you know, total underground, and it's totally different worlds, that people get to see. It's not too often that somebody can actually say, do you know this is Steve Angelo from back in the day versus Steve Angelo today.
That looks promising.
You know what I'm saying? So it's a complete education, I would say.
Alright, so you've toured extensively all over India and then you've toured abroad. So I want to know what difference do you see in terms of the reception of your music in India?
Well, I think firstly, as Indians, we respond to percussion, we respond to darkness, we respond to energy more than in the West. And what happens there is, because our crowd is not jaded yet, every time you go to a gig, there is enthusiasm, there is energy. Whereas in the West, people are jaded. Every weekend or every 2 days, they have an international artist touring. So you have a lot of repetition there. But here, it's a new experience every time. So the energy is what sets us apart, to be honest.
Alright, so what would you say are your musical influences so far?
I mean, in the DJing world, there are 3 names. Josh Wink, Tony DeVee, and Jeff Mills. These 3 people have shaped who I am today. They don't know about it, but I do.
Now they do.
Now they do, but
Now
these 3 people.
So now that the EDM scene in India is boosting up like big time, there are a lot of new DJs and producers coming up. Would you say there are a few that you would want us to watch out for?
Well, I mean, I'm not really gonna tell you about the commercial scene because they're a dime a dozen, and it really doesn't make any sense. Most of them are there because of the whole rise of popular dance music. Okay, but I'm talking about the guys who've been in the scene, who are pushing the scene forward, who are getting India on the map for the right reasons. I mean, there is Arjun Bagle, there's Anil Chawla, there's Kora, and there are a whole bunch of younger guys who are now coming through, like Praveen Achari, Vinayaka, Vipul Angrish. These guys are doing some sick work, and it's, in 2 years, these guys are going to be huge. Arjun's already huge,
I think even Vinayaka is on
Yeah, but it's going to get even bigger, so it's great.
Alright. So what do you think you have in store for us next? I mean, you've given us a bit of an idea already.
Right.
Can you give us more details about what we can expect from?
Well, I'm basically going to be freestyling. I have no idea what I'm going to play. But it's basically stuff that I used to play in a club called Speed back in the day in Chennai. It was known, it was the hub of underground in Chennai. That one club changed the way Chennai perceived music and their outlook to music. And that's why Chennai is the #1 city for underground today in the country. And it's just a blast from the past when it comes to that, because the sounds are going to be the same. I have a couple of friends of mine who are from Chennai today. A couple of friends who are from Bangalore who used to come to Chennai. So it's great. And we have new faces, so that's always good.
Alright, so any message that you have for your fans?
Well, the only thing I can say is support artists from your city, from your state, from your country, because the local artists are the ones who are constantly pushing the scene forward. It's all fine and dandy to support somebody who's come from the West or whatever. There are guys who are working here every day of their lives, putting their life on the line for the sake of music, and they deserve that respect. They deserve that support and motivation. It goes a whole long way.